Well, you know something, brother. Oh, wrong show. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone for yet another episode of UnSKripted. Listen, it's Tuesday nights. You know what that means? I have some of the biggest, the baddest, the best wrestlers of today and yesteryear, and talent too. Don't forget the talent, man. And don't forget the esteemed journalists as well. So, look, you know how it is on UnSKripted. Every week I have a guest, an awesome guest to ask questions to from the SK Nation, from the esteemed SK Nation. And so, but you know what's interesting? I've been doing this for years. I've been doing interview shows for a long time, a very, very long time, many, many years. But it's starting to organically like feature a buddy of mine, SK Zone. So, you know, it's like one of those things, like there's so much going on the road to WrestleMania. He pops up every now and then. And it's went from every now and then to like semi-frequently now. And guess what? I like it. So without further ado, once again, my pal, Bill Apter, how are you?
Great to be here. And when you said, thank you, hold your applause. When you said esteemed, I am esteemed about something right now.
What is that?
Number one, that photo at the beginning with me holding the microphone. Mm-hmm. Do you know that was taken at my daughter's wedding?
Very nice.
And the other thing that I'm really esteemed about, that video montage you have, if I'm a semi-regular, you know, let me just pose for that montage.
Okay. I like it.
Today in the mail, I donated to one of the Barry Windham fundraising things, and I ordered a mini Barry Windham Wrestle Buddy. Look, is that cool?
Very nice.
Is that cool? So today I'm going to step aside and Barry.
Oh, Barry, very nice. How's Barry doing nowadays?
Feeling better, thank you. I best wishes to you, Barry, if you're if you're watching this, and you know we love him. So
yeah. Is he doing better?
From what I hear, he's starting to get better.
Good.
I don't want to say anything officially because I haven't talked to him in a few days. And I did bring, because I'm esteemed, I do have my Fruit Adventure Kit Kat. You'll get less esteemed during the show.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Good to see you, Chris. And you and I will be meeting face to face for the first time.
No, for the second time. We met Hall of Fame in Orlando.
We
Yeah.
did. That was
Right.
years ago. But
Yeah,
what
2017.
is the name of the town that we're doing the convention in?
Chillicothe.
Chillicothe. Do they have Manicotti in Chillicothe?
Manicotti and Chillicothe. Yes, indeed.
Or
Yes.
Womanicotti? Either one.
Hey, we got to keep it equal nowadays.
All right, it's time to rumble, brother.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All
Speaking
right.
of Chillicothe, man, let's give my boy Bobby Fulton some love. There will be a big, and I'll be talking about this more throughout the next couple of months. It's in March, and I'll get more details as the weeks progress. It's in March, and both Bill and I will be doing media there, and it's just that, man. Talk about esteemed.
Yes.
Talk about esteemed.
That's it.
We got Sting, Shark Boy.
Shark Boy's coming back.
Shark Boy's coming back. Actually, Shark Boy and I have been texting back and forth a lot lately.
Oh, tell him I said hello, please.
Yes,
He and I are all friends.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. He's a fellow Ohioan as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know who else is a fellow Ohioan that
Who's
I can probably get to talk to you on one of your shows?
Who's that?
Nobody knows what happened to him. Do you remember Beautiful Bobby? Not Bobby Eaton. Beautiful Bobby, who was one of the Grand Wizards wrestlers. He had the figure 4 Bobby lock.
Okay.
He's in Ohio, and I've been talking to him, and I could probably get him on UnSKripted because he doesn't like to do scripted shows.
Well, that's the best show to come on is UnSKripted. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are Ohioans. You know, Randy Savage was born in Columbus, Ohio.
You know that very well,
yes,
brother.
Indeed. Yeah. I'm a Columbus, Ohio guy, and Randy Savage was born in Columbus, Ohio. EC3's an Ohioan.
That's right. And he says he's fine, and you can catch him here on Sportskeeda.
What's that?
You can catch him here on
Indeed, absolutely. Alexa Bliss is an Ohioan. Dana Brooks an Ohioan. Dolph Ziggler.
You talk about Alexa Bliss and Dana Brooke. Mm-hmm. The other night during Raw 30 in the hotel, they were banging on my hotel door all night.
Nice.
I wouldn't let them out.
very, very nice. Very nice. Good stuff. That sounds like a...
Hey, I'm here all night, folks.
That sounds like you read the book of Ric Flair, and you got that on page 49.
I've been doing that longer than Ric. Well, that's right.
Very nice. Gargano's from Ohio as well. He's a Clevelander, I believe. There's a lot of people from Ohio. Man. Yeah. I think Shark Boy's from Dayton. I think he was born in Dayton.
I believe so.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
But Royal Rumble.
Yes,
is
indeed.
Over. 2023.
Speaking of Royal Rumble, wasn't Royal Rumble in Ohio before too, or was it Survivor? I think Survivor Series was in Royal.
I don't remember to be honest.
Survivor Series in Ohio. Yeah, but Royal Rumble. So, we got some fallout to talk about with Royal Rumble. So let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble first. Of course, Cody Rhodes, he got the 30 spot, and it was very predictable of him winning, but I always say this. I say predictability is not always a bad thing. But what do you think? Was it too predictable of him getting the 30 spot? Because a lot of the criticism that I've seen over the past couple of days was like, okay, well, at least give him like 13 or 11 or 17 and make him not as
I heard so many fans comment. I got a lot of feedback from it that he was at that 30 number and he put on a really good performance, but I was expecting him to be like 13 or 14. But as I mentioned on the Mac and Teddy show recently, is that the suspense factor of when are we going to see Teddy? When are we going to see Cody? Mm-hmm. When are we going to see Cody? That played a large part in it, but I would have liked to have seen him in the middle. However, he did pay his dues in an incredible few minutes with Gunther, who to me stole that entire show. Wow, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that Gunther is the MVP out of that Rumble instead of Cody.
I do too. Absolutely. I think Cody looked good. His performance was good. Did he have any ring rust? Maybe a little bit. I know he's been working out at the Performance Center etc. And he's been training. He looked really, really good.
He did.
And was it predictable that he was going to win? I think so, yes. But I would have loved to have seen WWE throw a wrench in this whole thing and have Gunther win. And people would have been like, Gunther against Roman. Who would have even thought of that? Yeah.
Gunther against Roman Reigns. I don't even know what to think about that. I mean, like, I don't even know. So a slugfest, as Tara would say. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I don't know. Well, so let's go there. As far as where does Gunther go from here? I ideally, if it was up to me, if I had the books, if I had the pen, if you will, I would have Gunther against Drew McIntyre for an Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
Well, I think that would be a great match, but Cody had said on WWE Digital exclusively that he'd rather not wrestle Gunther again because of how tough Gunther was. However, if I had the book, that would be one of the first matches I'd make before WrestleMania. Because that's just a knockdown, drag-out battle, and that's a match I want to see. I really do. Yeah, Drew McIntyre against Gunther too. I mean, I think it would be great. But that man really proved something as being a legit tough man and pro wrestler.
I would be interested in Gunther dropping the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania to Drew. Drew has the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown. He just kind of leads the pack in that way. And then it would be cool, if Cody does win the title, which again, I'm not sold on that yet. I'm not sold on it now. Like I've said this many times before, I wouldn't mind SummerSlam, but I just build a little bit more babyface team behind them before hot shot them like that. I just give him a little bit more time. But all signs do point to he's going to win the championship, at least one at WrestleMania. And so I would be in favor of. So now the Intercontinental Championship is away from Gunther, and that gives Gunther, without a title in that top heel spot. I wouldn't mind Cody's first title match be against Gunther. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I don't want to see Gunther lose at all. I want to make this guy unbeatable. Drew McIntyre taking it from him would make sense. Big guy versus big guy. But I don't want to see Gunther exposed as a loser in anything because he went out of that ring with honor.
Yeah. If you think about it, though, like if he, say for instance, if he loses it in April, I think that'll be his. First of all, if he loses it in April, that would be his first singles loss. Pin since he's been on the main roster, so he's got some steam, some heel steam behind him. He's lost sometimes with Imperium before, and in tag teams with Ludwig Kaiser. But I do think that as far as the singles, as far as I recall, he hasn't lost a match as a singles.
Don't believe he has. What I want to see is Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Solo against Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. 6-man tag team match.
That would be money. That would be money.
I would pay to see that.
And on that note, Bill, honestly, I would have been more in favor of Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and I think there's still a way you can do it because to me, it's full circle because the bloodline angle is the best thing that WWE's had going on for the past 2 years.
Oh yeah.
So to make it full circle, it all started with Jey and Roman. That was the very first part of the bloodline storyline was because Jimmy was hurt. So Jey basically came, he was the head of the table and, he was he was the singles babyface Jey was, and he was going against Roman. They had the dissension. And then eventually he kind of, saw the light and then he joined Roman, and that basically launched the bloodline. It would really be cool full circle if he goes back to that babyface role.
I don't know. I can't see that being, and this is no knock to Jey at all. He's a fantastic wrestler, performer, but I just don't see that as a main event of a WrestleMania or something.
I think if you build it,
I don't even think Sami against Roman would be considered that.
Who would? You said Cody?
No, I don't think Sami versus Roman.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
either. I don't think that they're at that level. The opponents, Roman is at that level. I don't think the opponents of either of the Usos against Roman would be believable that either one of them would have a chance against him. It just, he's too much of a monster. And what got me is how long they stayed on the destruction of KO, Kevin Owens. The beatdown was so long.
Yeah, I think it stretched a bit, a little bit too long.
Yeah, where were the suits? Where were they? Where was Adam Pearce? Nobody came out to rescue Zayn or KO. So they have no allies there.
I agree. I agree with you as far as Sami versus Roman at Mania, not being a big money match, not having that caliber. But I think I could present an argument for Jey. I think Jey can be built up to be a main event, because he was main event Jey as a babyface. I think I'm all, you're a legend in the business, man. I'm all about good stories, man. Give me a good story.
Yeah, but I think in a good story, Roman Reigns would destroy him just in size alone. I mean,
true, but if you have like a KO, or if you have Sami to help, you know what I mean? Like if you have that, you know what I mean? Like, like straight one-on-one. We've already seen straight one-on-one with Jey and Roman before, but it would make so much sense if Sami helps Jey win the Universal Championship in that way. I would be
Jey versus Jimmy. Jey versus Jimmy would be more of an intriguing match, because through the years people said Jack and Jerry Briscoe, what would happen? Terry and Dory, what would happen? They wrestled each other. People love to see the infighting. Brett and Owen. Same thing. Yeah, that gives me the same buzz. But I enjoyed the Royal Rumble. We all knew, like I said, Cody was going to come there, and I was very upset at his placement. I think he should have been in it longer. And then the girls.
Yeah, let's talk about the women's Royal Rumble before we tackle these questions here. So I think Rhea was predictable too, but I've said this on the Raw Post show. I actually liked where they placed Rhea, though. Like, to me, I was a fan of that, because it made Rhea defy the odds, and it didn't make it seem as predictable or it's made it seem more believable. It kind of seemed like everybody was kind of fodder to a Cody win, a predictable win, versus the woman's, version was Rhea earned it. You know what I mean? Like, she came out number one, and she went through the whole gamut to win the whole thing, and so she earned it. The only backlash, because we're like Siskel and Ebert critics here, and so the only backlash that I had.
Yes.
What's that?
I said I'm the live one. One of them.
Yeah. So yes, indeed. And so basically, the only critique I have in that is, because she won the Royal Rumble and because she was there the whole time, she's going to get some baby face steam to her. And so last week on my Pancakes and Power Slam show, be sure to check that after this show. Go to Pancakes and Power Slams on YouTube. I book matches a lot, because I get a lot of people ask me questions, and people ask me the predictions. I said I think Rhea's going to win, and I said I think Rhea should choose Charlotte. I think Rhea should choose Charlotte to be the opponent at WrestleMania, because that protects Bianca Belair. Because if she wins, she's going to get a little bit of babyface steam, and I think right now, Charlotte Flair's the one who's more impenetrable than Bianca Belair's. You want to protect Bianca more than Charlotte. And so I think it's a good call. And I got people texting me like, "Oh man, you predicted it right." It makes sense.
I predicted Rhea as well, because to me, I looked down the women's roster and I couldn't see anyone except maybe Liv Morgan coming out on top. And the end of that match was so unpredictable. Where Liv Morgan got the green mist in the face, and Rhea was hanging there and just pulled her over. It was a really exciting end. And then the next night on Monday Night Raw, people have never seen Rhea Ripley really cut a promo like she did at Charlotte Flair on Monday Night Raw. That was really she makes you watch her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's money. Rhea's absolute money.
She's tough. I wouldn't want to meet her in a light alley or a dark alley.
A good friend of mine who wrestles has met Rhea before and said that I've heard actually this from a few people, that she is just so down to earth, like shy and really nice.
I know her.
Yeah. I heard a lot of positive things.
She's like Chyna was when Chyna was one of the toughest women ever in the ring. But every time she sees me, oh, hi, Bill. That warm, fuzzy. And when I saw Rhea on Monday night at Raw 30, she was like, she remembered I hadn't seen her in person one-on-one for like 2 years, and she remembered me right away. Hey, mate, how you doing?
Yeah, very nice. I was gonna say you got to say it in an Aussie accent. You have to,
Well, I don't know if you know this. If you've read my book, Is Wrestling Fixed?
I have it over there somewhere.
Yeah, but there's a chapter in there where I lived for several years with an Australian girl wrestler by the name of Susan Sexton, who was my best friend.
Very nice. Absolutely. All right, so before we get into these questions, let's just do this real quick. So Bianca Belair has the opportunity to go against the winner of the Elimination Chamber match. So Bill Apter, Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania is Bianca Belair versus.
Yeah.
Ooh, who you got?
Oh, okay. You want me to pick?
Yep.
This is for WrestleMania.
For WrestleMania.
So I'm looking down the list in my head. Let me see who I would. Asuka.
Okay.
Asuka.
All right.
Or Asuka, if you pronounce it the other way.
Asuka. I actually had my.
It took me a minute to start my mind going down the roster of women, but Asuka is trimmed down. She's very exciting to watch, and you never know what she's going to do next. So I think
she's back to her old school character, Kana, as well.
Yeah, but that's also the same way Bianca is. You can never predict what she's going to do. It's going to be a big, good, fast match if this happens.
Very true. So I already had my my pick of who Bianca Belair is going to go against, but
who do you think it is?
Pancakes and Power Slams. I'm going to talk about it in my other show. So I'll tell you after the show, but there's a cliffhanger for people. So
I'm going to watch Pancakes and Power Slams.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'll find out there.
Thank you for your support. All right, so let's dive into these questions. Guillermo, your opinion on Gunther's Royal Rumble performance, breaking the record for most time in the traditional Rumble, and what direction should he go? Should he go? Do you think he should break Honky Tonk Man IC title record?
I do think he should, and I think the interviews would be great. I am the greatest since the Honky Man Tonk, and he'll mess that up. No, I want to.
Very nice.
I want to see Gunther get up to the Roman Reigns type of level.
Was it like 400 and some days that Honky Tonk Man went?
Something like that, yeah.
So that would be like a little over a year. I'm still more in favor of him losing to Drew at WrestleMania. Drew needs to be revived in some way because I don't like the way they've booked Drew in 2022.
I say that Gunther has to remain invulnerable at this point.
Yeah,
he's angry.
He's angry.
Royal Rumble. He's angrier than he was before, so you've got to keep him unbeatable.
Who does he lose to?
Who does he lose to?
I say Drew. I say Drew at Mania.
I
That's
say
my
Cody eventually in a series of rematches.
okay. So who does he drop the belt to then?
Could be Drew,
Okay.
or it could be belt versus belt. Cody wins.
Oh man, so he's Cody 3 belts.
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Man had it for 454 days. Won it
That's right.
June 2nd, 1987. Lost it at SummerSlam against
Oh, I don't remember that.
the Ultimate Warrior.
That's
When
right.
he comes out, he does it was like 8
You're hitting me after 11 o'clock since I've been up since 6 in the morning.
Hey, look, as a therapist, I'm up early too, and I go to bed late. So, yeah, I like wrestling trivia. So,
Yeah,
that's always fun. Elvis, Mr. Apter, who would you put on your Mount Rushmore from the golden era? Also, what is your favorite thing about Dr. Chris?
Dr. Chris is easy to talk to. Dr. Chris is very knowledgeable, where sometimes I don't remember dates and places. He's got that in his Dr. Chris brain. Bruno Sammartino, Ric Flair, Nick Bonquico, Mil Mascaras.
Bill Mascaras, very nice.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Real name is Mel Moskowitz. He's a nice Jewish kid from the Bronx.
Oh, very nice.
No, but that if people read my book, they know that Mil Mascaras was one of my all-time favorites. And the reason being, and people all complain that he always says, oh, I'm not going to do the job and all this stuff. Hulk Hogan didn't either. All these guys that were top flight wrestlers, Mascaras made it look like a ballet.
Yeah.
He made it look so fluid and easy when I used to watch the shows from the Olympic Auditorium. But yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore tonight. It could change tomorrow.
Very nice.
What about you, Chris?
My Mount Rushmore. So my Mount Rushmore is based on people who I think is the most popular of all time, not my personal favorite. So which one do you want? My personal favorite or the most popular?
Most popular.
I think the 4 most popular wrestlers of all time is Bruno, Hogan, Austin, Rock.
You left out the McIndream Dusty Rhodes. If you
that's he's a part of my top 3 of all time, baby.
Oh, right.
My top 5 of all time, and it's been pretty consistent for a long time now. You want 5 to 1 or 1 to 5? Which
1 to 5.
1 to 5. Sting, Dusty, Steamboat, Jericho, Booker T. Those are my all-time.
Okay, yeah, I'll go for that. Sucker.
Yes, indeed. All right, so let's see. What are you thinking this next for Bray Wyatt, Mark? By the way, speaking of Royal Rumble, real quick, I was not a fan. I think it fell flat, man. I
didn't like it at all. I don't like the whole supernatural thing.
Yeah.
It disrupted the flow of what was a wrestling show.
Yeah.
It really did. I mean, and it just was too much. I would have liked to have seen Bray Wyatt come out as either the Fiend or Bray Wyatt and had a brawl with LA Knight that might have ended up with him falling through the ring or something. Yeah. But this was it was too much as far as
too many theatrics, man. It's like I told it to someone. A lot of this Bray stuff is more of like the fans need to put together the piece of the puzzle versus chasing the breadcrumbs. We need to chase the breadcrumbs
like that.
Instead of putting the pieces we shouldn't be responsible for putting the pieces of the puzzle together. That's too much work for us. Yeah. We need to just chase the breadcrumbs to wherever you're leading us to. And that's where I see it's just too much. It's too convoluted to me.
The whole thing though here is that they wanted Bray Wyatt back. The fans demanded he come back, and this is taking so long.
It is.
I think the live audience loves it because when you're there live, it's different than watching it on TV. But I think the TV audience is like, okay, this is getting long. Yeah.
The Uncle Howie spot. He missed LA Knight. I don't know if you noticed that, but he missed him. He didn't land nowhere near him. So
yes, I do.
And I just Uncle Howie turns on Bray, and now he's with Bray, and Bray's a face, and he's being influenced by Uncle Howie on SmackDown. but Uncle Al's he's influencing Alexa Bliss on Raw, who's a heel. Like it's
Wait a
too
minute.
much.
Let's pause here and ask one of Bray Wyatt's relatives. Did you like it?
Uncle Barry.
Uncle Barry did not like it.
Uncle Barry says no. Let's see here. Was Lana supposed to be in the Royal Rumble? I know she was spotted in San Antonio near WWE, like in the hotel or something like that, but it was never confirmed.
Well, you know what? His name is John Perry, and she's CJ Perry.
She's CJ Perry. That's right. Yes, maybe they're related.
Maybe they are. Yes, I don't know if she was. One of the big losses to me in pro wrestling is the non-usage of her husband.
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I mean, Hunter's bringing all these people back. Miro is probably still on the contract with AEW, but man, that's one guy wish he'd be able to bring back. Monster.
Agreed. Yes, indeed.
And you know, Monster heel who I don't see enough of. We see him on Raw once in a while, and I've talked to him a bunch of times. Is Bronson Reed is the second coming in a lot of ways of Crusher Blackwell.
Oh, good comparison.
Yeah.
I liked him as a babyface in NXT. I was a big fan of Bronson Reed. I've said this on many shows. I was a big fan of Bronson Reed in NXT. I like him as a babyface. To me, like he reminds me of a modern day Bam Bam Bigelow. You know, just really
Bigelow, Crusher Blackwell.
Yeah, just really big, agile. You know, just big frame, but just super nimble. I liked him as a babyface, and just to me, just this monster is just kind of sealing him. It's just I wish that it was more to me.
If you look at the live crowd, so many of the bad guys, I still old school, I say good guys, bad guys. So many of the bad guys the fans like laugh at, when he comes out, you see some of the little kids in the audience going like, he's very opposing.
That's effective then. That's effective for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Last question of the night to respect my colleagues' time here. Do you think that WWE should do a trios title?
Absolutely. A lot of people are going to say they're imitating AEW if they do that, but trios has been around longer than AEW. And my suggestion is Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Jey Uso.
Very nice.
Tournament, and they one match tournament against Roman, Solo, and Jimmy, and that's it. Yeah,
I would be interested in trios title too. I actually had this conversation a couple months ago, and I would be interested in trios title too. I think there's just enough talent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I like New Japan, because there people complain that there's a lot of belts. There's a lot of talent too, just sitting around doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so just at least give us a reason to see them. You know what I mean? At least you're working towards something. There's an incentive here. So yeah, I'm all for it.
The people that should have been pre-trios days, the Fabulous Freebirds, would have been the trios champions of all time.
Yes, indeed.
Of all time.
I think right now you have Imperium, you have Legado del Fantasma. Phantasmo, you have Phantasmo, you have when Big E comes back, if he decides to come back, I think March, there's something I heard that
I expected him to be in the Royal Rumble. I thought he was going to be one of the surprises.
I heard that March is like a year since he had his neck surgery, so he's going to do a review in March, and then he's going to determine at that time whether he wants to.
I hope so. And they got to push the hell out of him because he's so good.
Yeah. So if he does come back, you have the New Day. Someone can join Hit Row, maybe Carmelo Hayes or something like that from NXT, and then you can bring some NXT people up too. I mean, there's you can get 8 trios teams, definitely without a doubt.
Absolutely,
I'd be in favor of it as well. Bill Apter, let us know about. Oh man, there's a lot. Okay, we got to get you back.
I'm good.
Okay, I got to start my show here in a few minutes. So let's see. Let's do a lightning round. Rolling, can The Rock ever become too big for the WWE? Is The Rock too big or too legendary to get a storyline with Roman Reigns about being the tribal chief, aka the head of the table?
It doesn't matter how big he gets. Rock is a billboard name, and No, I would love to see him against Roman Reigns.
Agreed.
I know his heart would be in it. And when they were talking a few weeks ago about people buying the company or partnering with someone, I think The Rock's company, $7, would have been perfect to be partners with that, because
absolutely
he's got the mentality, he's got the love for it. So that's where it should have gone. What else we got, Chris?
Lou was asking me, do I think Solo should have been the Rumble? I do. I think he should have been the Royal Rumble.
I agree.
I really would have been interested if Sami was in it and eliminated Solo. That would have added a little bit of spice.
You notice Solo's got that Ernie Ladd taped up.
Yeah, man, it's got the Samoan spike. Yeah, indeed. Right. Let's see what we got here before we head out. Are you familiar with my gimmick that I do with the Black Scorpion? Of course, you know what the Black Scorpion is, right?
Wait, let me just say one thing.
Indeed.
Sting.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. or
Raj,
what's that? Or should I say? Sting.
It was you all the time.
Yeah. Hey. It might have been.
Unbelievable.
All right. Let's see what else we got really quick.
Raju, by the way, being the content manager of Sportskeeda, does a great job. He and I talked 100 times. Raju.
I think you got bit by Vince Russo because he calls Raju. I correct him.
I call him Raju. Yeah. It's Riju, right? The way
it's Riju, yes, indeed. All right, so I think we're going to close the books for tonight. Let the listeners
hold on a minute. Let me do that.
Yeah, literally close the book. Yeah, and what book did you just close, Bill?
Oh, it's Wrestling Fixed. I didn't know it was broken.
Oh wow, I didn't even know.
And you can still get it on Amazon, and I will have copies of this down in Chillicothe. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes.
And we'll also, if any of you fans are watching that are going to be in Chillicothe, I would love if you bring me some manicotti.
Very nice. Bill and I will both be there. I believe it's March the 25th, if I'm not mistaken.
And by the way, you know what? We didn't know the 13th. I think it is.
It's one of those days.
But I do want to mention that this, it's the road to WrestleMania, but bigger than that. Road to the Sportskeeda Awards season.
Yes.
Season 2, Sportskeeda Awards in mid-February. All you fans will be able to vote for Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Promo of the Year, and so many other things, along with our panel of experts. I've already signed Booker T, Mark Henry, and several other people to be on our panel of experts. So stay tuned to Sportskeeda, and Dr. Chris will advise all of you when this is going to happen as well. But yeah, it's the Sportskeeda Wrestling Award season.
Love it. Absolutely. It is March the 25th, by the way, as far as
it is. Well, my plane tickets got the 13th, so I guess I'm sitting in.
Stay with me for 2 weeks
and having manicotti for 13 days.
Good stuff, man. Cool. So that's March 25th, and until then, Sportskeeda Wrestling Awards, and you'll see Bill and I hanging out. Maybe you'll see us hanging out at WrestleMania too.
So. We will be there.
Yes, indeed. All right. Until then, Bill Apter, Dr. Chris, this is the UnSKripted. Hey, come over to Pancakes and Power Slams. Type that on YouTube, Pancakes and Power Slams. I'm about to go live, and I'm about to answer your questions and talk about Bianca Belair.
And we'll see you at the matches.
Very nice. Good segue. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.